postseason. No, that doesn't exist yet. Preseason record it's over, guys. It's over. What a comeback by the Colts. But just disappointing, right?
It is, but the Bears.
Or it doesn't matter at all.
Well, the Bears, but they battled for the Flues tonight. They came strong. I mean, this is going to be the Tyson Bagent celebration show, and Peterman, the heart and soul, trying to will us into the end zone at the end. By the way, great to have Herb Howard here.
I was going to say.
This is so exciting.
Adam Hoge, Mark Carman, Greg Braggs Jr., and Herb showed up at halftime, just hung out with us in the second half, and he's sticking around for the show. What's up?
I saw you guys tweet out, like, there's a surprise guest. I've been looking around the studio ever since then. I'm like, who's coming?
No, you heard you heard about the P.J. Walker pizza party. And
that's why I was here for sure. I'm here for the pizza and the Goose Island. Have no doubt about it.
Love it.
Smart man.
Well, look, I have to say, for the second week in a row, I mean, this wasn't as entertaining as the first game, but for a game that I think I expressed my disappointment pregame that there weren't many starters playing in, and Justin Fields not playing. Do we have a QB2 controversy here? Because, guys, P.J. Walker, it wasn't good, and it hasn't been good. And then Tyson Bagent, who I sort of sniffed out earlier in the week, was passing Peterman. All of a sudden is like knocking on the door of P.J. Walker. That sounds like a crazy idea to have a rookie be your backup, but an undrafted rookie, by the way.
Yeah.
But it also it's half of that just because P.J. Walker has struggled so much. Herb, I'll start with you. Like right now, let's say the game against the Packers is tomorrow. Who's your second quarterback?
First of all, you nailed that, right? You did sniff that out early in terms of what Bagent was doing and what that probably meant for Nathan Peterman. But like you said, he's right up on PJ right now, and I think that's a legitimate question to say, going into week one, who's your second quarterback right now? And I think you still got to have some pause about putting an undrafted rookie out there in games that matter. And so I think right now I would still probably lean towards PJ. He hasn't really had a good camp. I do like his arm talent. I've said that, but he hasn't had a good camp. He's got his limitations in terms of height and balls being batted down and finding guys. But I just have a little bit of trepidation about putting an undrafted rookie out there in games that matter. However, if this trend continues for another 10 days, then I think you just got to go ahead and make the choices right in front of you, which is Bagent is playing the best quarterback outside of Justin Fields.
And they'll almost have no choice, right? They'll almost have no choice to do this if the last preseason game it's the same result. Because from the start of camp on, P.J. Walker is overthrown, interceptions, and this guy is, leading his receivers, throwing with anticipation, and he's playing second and third stringers, and that's kind of how you disqualify it. But at the same time, on a game like tonight where it's on full display, there's really not much you can say about it. Greg Gabriel put out something that was really interesting during the game, and he was talking about when they would scout quarterbacks, this is one of the things they'd look at, and attempted passes in college. He has more attempted passes in college than Richardson, Stroud, and Bryce Young combined. He threw for 2,000. He had 2,040 passes in college. So he's experienced, and he's showing that.
So who would you go with for your backup?
I'm going Bagent. I don't care that he's, doesn't have the money. At some point, the what he does on the field should speak for itself. It shouldn't be about how much money you bank.
What's the cap hit, Hogue?
So P.J. Walker signed a 2-year, $400 million-ish contract. Basically, the first year is guaranteed, like $2 million of that.
Sure.
If they were to cut him now, they would actually take an additional cap hit of about, I think it's like $300,000 or something like that. So in their situation, not a big deal other than the fact it just looks like a really bad contract.
Yeah, but you stumbled into it for good reason. It's not like you paid him and then he's just trash. I mean, he has had a bad camp, but I think more it's about what Bagent's doing, and you can't fault yourself for finding a good guy undrafted.
Look, when you get hit in the face with something, there's you just got hit in the face, and the Bears just got hit in the face that Tyson Bagent can play and P.J. Walker cannot. This is not to me. It's not even a discussion. I understand that you gave P.J. Walker money, but who cares? You can cut him. You got plenty of money. That's $300,000. That's less than chump change. Forget about even like 2 and 3. It's actually exciting to me that the Bears identified somebody who did what I was begging them to do. Like when you looked at what Brock Purdy did last year, when you look at a lot of quarterbacks who get overlooked, even Aiden O'Connell right now, who's having some level of success, who I did not think was going to do that, but that actually played 4 years of college, learned the game, threw a ton of passes, just developed as a football player, and then lo and behold, they don't exactly fit how you want them to look, but they can process the field. They're super accurate. Bagent's passes, the dude's on the money all night, and he had some craftiness out there, getting himself in the end zone. This is a great development tonight. I don't want to overblow it. Obviously we have a guy by the name of Justin Fields, but to have a young quarterback that you at least are remotely excited about to where he can go, that's in the backup role, we have not had that. And Jake Maloney, I think, hitting the nail on the head, or Tyson Bagent is generational. I don't want to go quite that far, but I'm excited to see more. I am excited to see more.
If Justin, we know how he plays the game, right? If he gets a shoulder or he, tweaks the knee and he's down for 4 games, you want a guy that can come in and go 2 and 2. You feel good about Tyson being able to do that?
That's where I'm just struggling with this. And by the way, just to clarify, looking at Spotrac, looks like he's going to cost you $500,000 against the cap next year, regardless. Okay. If you cut him now or you cut him in the off season or whatever, whatever. Let's forget about the money. It doesn't really matter, other than you spent a couple million that you didn't need to. Whatever. I'm just struggling with the idea that you're just going to roll into the season with a rookie being your backup, and then you keeping Nathan Peterman then?
Yeah. Sure, or keep PJ.
No, that's what that was going to be my PJ. Question is that you could still keep PJ, right?
Just keep PJ, make him the third string. Who cares?
What does it matter? It's just
I don't think they'd like to carry 3. I think they'd rather carry 2.
Yeah, but what's the rule again about carrying an extra?
No, they got to be on your active roster to use that guy as a surprise, as the emergency quarterback.
I don't get what are you what exactly are you worried about? Like, If Justin Fields gets hurt and we're playing a backup quarterback, the season, if he gets hurt for a long period of time, the season effectively is over. Sure. And
not if Tyson Bagent is as good as you guys are saying he is.
Well, great.
Then it shouldn't be over. Then this should be a Brock Purdy situation.
Exactly. So let's then in that horrible scenario.
Well, I'm just saying, if you believe he's this good, then own it. Then he's this good. Then the season's not over.
But it's not about this good. It's about, is he better than P.J. Walker? I think is the more fair conversation.
He's playing better than him right now. I think.
Based on what we saw tonight, absolutely.
Yeah.
It was 17 plays, 92-yard touchdown drive, 7 of 8 passes for 61 yards, and a 2-yard touchdown run.
I'd say that's just confirmation of what we've seen all camp. Like I said, shout out to you. You called this a week ago. Like, we've been seeing this through camp. He's had the better camp. That's just a simple observation.
Right, and
No, he has 100%.
I have to guard against for myself because I am backup quarterback lover. I always have been. I always will be.
Comes with the territory of Bears fans.
Right. Yeah. And one time in my life that I was actually right about it, that it was 100% accurate, was when Jay Cutler was the QB, and then there was this guy. What was his name that everybody hated?
Josh McCown.
Josh McCown, who was Josh God, and his teammates liked him more, and he was producing. I'm not saying that this is that, but this is a situation where we've been watching him in training camp. He's looked better. You see some level of composure with him, and then he gets his opportunity. And I don't care who was out there. The dude crushed it. Give
Air Jer in the chat.
Give Bagent his flowers.
Air Jer in the chat. Secret Bagent man.
Exactly right. A secret Bagent man. A secret Bagent. That's right, Poppy, man.
See, look.
Giving him a chance.
And
he's taking this way, name.
Quiet,
please.
Looked at
Herb
please.
While he did that.
If y'all want me to be confused, just say that.
There's our first quiet please of the night right there. Herb, thank you for being here, because you see what I got to deal with when Nick's not here? Like, I just need one other person in here.
You didn't like Secret Bagent, man? That is brilliant.
We're having a great segment. There's your quiet Carm sign, first one of the post game. And within 2 seconds, you start singing, and a dog runs up on the set.
She liked it.
I hooked him into that one.
Speaking of giving flowers, right? I think it'd be remiss if we didn't give flowers to Will DeWitt, who probably had the scoop of the day.
Scoop of the day, Will DeWitt. He's on our. Well, he wasn't even on with us pregame. Nick was, but Nick said Will was walking around the stadium, ran into a guy wearing a Tyson Bagent jersey.
Had to be.
Which, if you're wearing a Tyson Bagent jersey, you're related.
You're related to Tyson Bagent.
Turns out he was. It's his uncle. Uncle Bagent told him he's going to be QB2 tonight.
Uncle Bagent just breaking news to Will DeWitt. Probably didn't know who he was talking to, which is a bad job by Uncle Bagent, but whatever. You should be watching the show. You should know who Will DeWitt is, but he let
Maybe he did know, and he was like, I'm going to deliver this big news because I'm a huge CHGO diehard.
We had fun with it, but that was a legit catch. Like, that was legit, like, scoop to know that Bagent was going in second to confirm what Hoge told us last week, which was he was passing Peterman.
And I was just guessing based on what I was seeing. You know, I was just making
an educated guess.
I was making an educated guess, but Will came through with the actual information pregame, and then you saw it, and then he backs it up. Let's, regardless of who ends up being the backup, and because I'm not even sure there's a real controversy here. At some point, though, if you're Ryan Poles, you got to look at this thing. And if there's one question I regret not asking him the other day when we had him on Hogan Johns, it's about P.J. Walker and his struggles. Like, I guess I've just been sitting here like he's going to work his way out of it. But it still hasn't happened. But just speaking on Tyson Bagent right now, he looks poised.
Thank you.
There's a confidence back there. There was one throw tonight that I pointed out to you, Carm, when it happened, and it was it ended up being just a short dump off to the running back. But it was right at the moment where the clock should be going off in your head, and you should either be like scrambling out of there or passing it. And he was just standing there. And at first I'm like, oh, no, he's got no sense of the clock. But no, he was just being calm, and then he hit his check down.
I think that goes to what Braggs was saying, though, about all of the experience, all the throws he had in college. He's been in that pocket a lot. Which
is something I want to talk about a little bit later with the Colts quarterback not playing tonight. Because that didn't make any sense to me. But there is something to be said. Whatever level of quarterback or whatever play you're coming from, because we're talking about Shepherd here, a D2 school.
Right.
This is quite a jump he's making. But right now, there's something to be said for what we're seeing.
The play that you're naming, the creativeness, getting into the end zone, using his feet, the rollout, putting it on the money, not an easy throw. Obviously not the most athletic guy on the planet. He's not going to wow you with his speed, but that's okay. We saw the other side of the coin, Gardner Minshew.
Sure.
What did he do tonight? All he did was put the ball on the money all day long, get the ball out of there. Bears he just played a solid game. So which is why I like Minshew as a backup. I'm just saying these are solid dudes who if your starter goes down, they could come in and be more than competent. I don't know. I'm excited about this.
Philosophically, let me ask y'all this, just in general about backups. Do y'all prefer a backup more like QB1, or do you prefer a QB2 that has a little bit of a different skill set?
So, right, ideally you'd want somebody who can step in and do what Fields does so you don't have to alter things too much, right? But
does P.J. Walker really do what Fields does? I mean, nobody does.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, just generally, cause I think there's a case to be made for the other way too, right? To say, no, I kind of like a guy that's a little bit different, because, his number one job is to be eyes and ears for QB1. And so if he plays it different, he can see it different. You know what I mean? So whereas Justin's ready to take off here, he's like, no, my eyes went there. You could have hit this, that, and the third. And I think having a little bit of a different skill set behind QB1 could be as beneficial almost as having a guy that can come in and run the same exact system.
I mean, the way I answered it for me is can he play or can he not play?
Right.
And if he can play, I don't care if they play the same or they
Trey
play
Lance,
different.
and you got Brock Purdy. Dane Brugler wrote an article about Tyson Bagent in December 8th last year. He said he led NCAA's all-time leader across all divisions in career touchdown passes with 159.
That's the guy that I want to take a look at. I'm serious. This is a good job by the Bears. I was begging the Bears. You need to add more quarterbacks onto your team. You need to go out and find experienced dudes who have done it, who are getting overlooked. That is exactly what this guy is. And he got a chance to play tonight. He played great. I'm interested to see what he's going to do next week. Yeah. Period. End of story. I think this is a fantastic. I mean, I'm not saying that we just found our edge rusher.
So way too early for next week's game. Break down QB reps. How much Fields do you want to see? And then between PJ and Tyson, how much do you want to see?
I want to see Fields for the whole first half.
I want that too.
That's what I want. Will it happen? But I want Fields for a whole first half. Bagent the third quarter. PJ Walker the fourth quarter. Keep some of the second string guys in longer. I'm going crazy, but I'm sure that's not what's going to happen.
I'd be down for that. I mean, I don't need Justin to play the whole first half, but more than one series.
Right, because it depends on how many reps.
I mean, I'm saying
many snaps.
Even if Justin goes out next week and has a Bagent level game, goes 9 for 10, rushes the ball in the end zone, I still want to see him come out the next set and do it again.
Sure.
But
yeah, I'm going to set it at least 20 snaps.
There you go
for Justin Fields. And ideally, half of those are throws, right? So you're getting somewhere around 10 real passing attempts, at least some of those downfield. You can't end the preseason to me with 7 snaps, 3 throws, all of which were behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Like you need real live game reps, even if you. And I think from what I feel like the Bears are doing here, I think that's going to happen next week. The Bagent PJ Walker thing is
tricky.
It's tricky because on one hand, you probably want PJ Walker. You got to work this out of him, right? You got to give him the opportunity to. He's established. He's come in games before. He's started games now at this point. He's made big throws like the one he made to DJ Moore last year at the end of that game. I'd also look at what Bagent did today and be like, let's give him a little bit more of an opportunity next week, see if he can build on it. So I don't necessarily know who I would have come out first after Fields.
Oh, you made a great point. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
You made a great point while we were watching the game about Bagent. If you aren't going to elevate him to quarterback 2, but you still want him, you might got to hide him a little bit. You can't give him 2 quarters next week, or you might not be able to give him 20 snaps, because if you give him 20 snaps and the kid goes out there and he's 12 or 14 for $150 and 2 tuds,
you can't slide him to the practice squad.
Hell no, you're not sliding him to the practice squad. 30 on the team is going to be like, we'll take him for our third quarterback and just put him on our roster or whatever.
Well, that's the thing. You got to put him on your roster. You can't be on your practice squad at that point. So
he might have already done too much, honestly.
Well, and that's why I think we're all surprised he came out when he did, and that Peterman got the run the rest of the game.
I agree.
But maybe that had something to do with it. The thing is, though, I just can't imagine, for instance, a team like the Arizona Cardinals, right? To me, that's a team that can afford to claim Tyson Bagent off waivers. There's going to be a bad team that isn't necessarily worried about the last guy on the roster. They would be willing to. So someone, I think, this is a lot of times we overrate this. And we're like, oh, there's no way this guy's going to clear waivers.
Who's going to get cut that we all freak out about, and he ends up on the practice squad
anyway. But in this case,
when it's a young quarterback having a really strong first offseason.
And I do think this is relevant. I think this is relevant both for the possibility he gets claimed and the possibility that the Bears take this more seriously than maybe they even thought they were when they signed this guy. His name's Brock Purdy. Because this league's all about trends and copying what other teams are doing.
No doubt.
And there's no doubt that
great point.
We saw other quarterbacks taken this year in the draft, and it seemed like the Brock Purdy effect.
They miss on quarterbacks all the time. Jalen Hurts was a second-round pick. We can go through the list. Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time, 199 overall. They miss all
Could
the
have
time.
and should have drafted Russell Wilson and Dak Prescott. I was
That's right.
Dak
banging
Prescott was
the
a
table
Fourth
for
round
both.
pick.
fourth round pick. You up and down where these guys go. It is rare that
And Ryan Pace, I hate even bringing him up, but he came in here and said he was going to draft a quarterback every year.
Yeah.
And then he never did. You know, now this guy's come in here and he, has obviously, Ryan Pace left us with one parting gift, and that was Justin Fields, so I will give him credit for that. But now that they've brought in a young quarterback here that has a little bit of intrigue, I like it.
I mean, I did not think that we'd be sitting on this podcast tonight.
How refreshing is it, though? Because like you said, you loved the backup. You've always loved the backup quarterback. But now we're talking about the third quarterback. So we've leveled down finally. We've got the first one.
Are we still talking about the third quarterback?
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, he is tonight,
feel you,
but
I
it
feel you.
should
Yeah, yeah.
change. So it's refreshing that we've moved off of that.
I would bet a significant amount of money that next week Fields is 1 and Walker is 2.
I think so too.
Yeah, I agree.
Flus is not gonna.
And I think that's how I would start the season too. But where I am coming around on this, it's the idea of keeping Bagent on the roster as the third quarterback and letting this thing play out a little bit more too. So hopefully you get through the season, you don't need to be worrying about that.
Right. I mean, if you do it that way, then if Justin goes out, you play PJ and he struggles. All right.
Yep.
Let's go. You're in.
Yeah, because there's something we said too for just taking mental reps, being behind the scenes. I mean, Brock Purdy didn't play until late in the year. He'd been there for a while. Similar system, by the way, I'll throw out too. Can be friendly to a quarterback like that if they run it the right way.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put Luke Getsy in the Kyle Shanahan category of, play calling quite yet. But, there's something we said for this. You guys want to hear his scouting profile?
I do.
Absolutely.
Per Dane Brugler, I feel like the Bears just got an extra draft pick tonight.
Seems that way.
It was like they drafted a quarterback.
The beast.
Yeah.
The beast guide is back.
So I'll skip all the personal stuff for now. But this guy was a 4-year starter over 5 years because they only had a 1-game season the COVID year. He started every game.
Wow.
53 out of 53 games in college.
That's exactly
He steps on campus and he's like, I'm clearly better than everybody else here.
It's exactly what Purdy did. It's also what Holton Nailers did. Keep going.
Yeah, over 2,000 passing attempts.
500 a year.
68% completion percentage and 17,000 yards. Which
4,000 a year. We've never done that.
Which is Justin. He's going to come in and throw 4,000 yards for the Bears.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Period.
Pull the cut. Pull it.
All right. Listen, I think I just want to say this last thing. If he does, you keep him on the roster, which I think we kind of all in agreement that you at this point you may have to. Tightens the screws at wide receiver, tightens the screws at corner, tightens the screws at running back. Like those competitions that we've been eyeing and seeing, like, oh, who can be the 6th wide receiver? How's that going to shake out the back end of the corner spot? Well, that's one less spot there because I think we were assuming that they were going to go with 2. They're going to go with 3. There's one less spot for somebody. DN, right? You talk about the competition that between Terrell Lewis and Travis Gibson and Rasheem Green. That tightens the screws for somebody.
Receiver room.
Yeah.
Maybe St. Brown.
Yeah.
But if we're, okay. Keep going.
No, it's a good point. So Tyson Bagent is from West Virginia. Okay, why did he not go to a school higher than D2? Dane Brugler writes, a no-star recruit, Bagent wasn't ranked by the online recruiting services, went vastly under-recruited. He had interest from a few FBS programs like West Virginia and Marshall, but no offers. He received FCS-level offers from Albany and Robert Morris, but neither situation was attractive enough to take him away from D2 Shepherd, a program he grew up around and to which he had several family connections. His mother, Casey, grew up in Shepherdstown, graduated from Shepherd in 2002. His father, Travis, played baseball at Shepherd and graduated in 1999. And this was that story. You guys remember this? Travis, his father, is a 28-time world champion arm wrestler, widely considered the greatest left-handed arm wrestler of all time.
Wow.
There it is. Now we got him.
I think Brad could take him.
I got
I
him.
didn't even think about that. If you're lefty, are you in a whole different...
Bring it, Bagent.
You can only arm
Like,
wrestle lefties.
Who are you arm wrestling if you're a lefty?
No wonder he's a champion. He's just
that's true.
Who are the lefties that he's going up against?
Could just be a blatant strategic cheat.
You got switch hitters in arm wrestling.
Strategic cheat.
Strategic cheat. I'm just gonna go lefty. That's. But,
Carm, I got a nugget in here you're not gonna like. After his junior season at Shepherd, Tyson entered the transfer portal, took 2 official visits at West Virginia and Maryland, and he received offers from both schools. He also set up visits with Northwestern.
Oof. What happened?
And Western Kentucky, and expected several more offers.
He didn't like being played with.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Easy.
Pulled his name out of the portal.
I respect the dude that stayed loyal. He sniffed to D1 and wanted to see what was up.
He could have transformed Northwestern.
He could have transformed. Well,
all right, here's the strengths. Lean, athletic build with a projectable frame, has a whip for an arm, spins a zippy spiral, balanced in his setup, gets the ball out quickly for catch and run opportunities, flashes the ability to touch up and layer throws against zone, comfortable drilling the ball over the middle of the field, has functional pocket mobility to slide and buy time, very confident yet level-headed with a quick memory to move on from mistakes, was the unquestioned leader of the locker room and a close teammate. Shepherd head coach Ernie McCook said, quote, he raises the level around him and owns everything, never pointing a finger. It's in his DNA. He wills the team to win. Durable 4-year starter, and his father instilled a strict work ethic in him from a young age, played under 3 different offensive coordinators, which helped shape his football mind, extremely productive, and left Shepherd with every school passing record. I think the only comp here that makes any sense, guys, is Tom Brady.
Well, seriously, did anybody see? Did everybody pay attention when he gave the look, the Bagent look? He gave
Bagent look. You saw a Bagent look.
Did you not see the
I'm gonna have
Bagent
to
look?
rewind
He had
it.
the stern Bagent focused look. I know what I'm doing. I'm in control of this offense. I'm Tyson Bagent, next superstar, somewhere Bears.
I saw when the
After Justin
referee
Fields goes
dropped
to the Hall
an
of Fame.
F-bomb at Flus.
Saw that.
That was fun.
That was a good
I didn't know Beijing was full sleeve tattoo. I don't know what I've been looking at all camp.
I noticed it this week.
Yeah,
I noticed it in Indy this week, and it's the first time I
He's
noticed
got the
it.
full sleeve tattoo.
Yeah, he
Sleeve
does.
tattoo down his left arm,
Yeah.
man. I'm here for it.
It looks
Wow.
good.
It's
Yeah.
aggressive Bagent. But that shows you a level of Bagent that, again, secret Bagent, man. What's up with the tattoo? Now we got a whole
He
story to
has been
follow up
secret Bagent, man.
He's been secret
now he's not a
Bagent, man.
secret
He's
anymore.
got a song.
Secrets out.
He's ripping it. 17-play drive. Quarterback 2.
All right, here's the weaknesses. All of his college experience came at a lower level of competition. Doesn't consistently incorporate his base or hips to drive throws. Throws with steady accuracy, but his placement will need to be more precise to fit NFL windows. I have to say, though, he's been pretty accurate in camp. And tonight he had the one bad throw right after Carm drafted his tweet.
When I watch him on doing the net drill, they got 2 squares, and if you've watched Hard Knocks, you see. I mean, every camp's got it. He's not Johnny accurate. He's not.
He's not lighting that on fire.
Yeah, he's absolutely not. But I mean,
He's
it's
no-
good. It's just
he's
not
no
elite.
Andrew Janoko.
Okay,
Yeah, the quarterback coach.
Yeah.
He gets up there and never misses.
is that true?
Yeah, do you remember in OTAs they were throwing into a net from like 40 yards away, and I think Peterman was the only one who made it.
Yeah, Peterman made it.
And then Janoko gets up there, throws one pass, drops her right in.
Straight in.
I do remember that.
Then you never throw
But
another one.
Yeah, and
Leave
then
it
he's like,
there.
I'm good. Back to the weaknesses. Prefers to work from a stationary base with inconsistent mechanics after he is flushed. Guilty of being a stubborn passer at times with his preferred reads. His interceptions usually were a result of his unrefined eye use, leading defenders to the target. Will hold the ball too long with multiple route concepts and needs to quicken his eyes. His internal clock will need a reset versus an NFL pass rush. Room to improve. His pre-snap pressure reads. Wasn't a rush threat in college.
He ain't gonna be one in the pros, although he did tonight.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, the timing thing makes me a little nervous. Overall, Bagent only knows D2 defensive speed, faces a steep learning curve against NFL competition, but he has the mindset and functional physical profile worth developing. He has a chance to be the first D2 quarterback drafted since 1994. Of course, that did not happen, but Dan give him a 7th-round grade. He went undrafted. Bears picked him up, and he's going to lead him to the promised land.
Let me just tell you something. If
Will DeWitt just tweeted,
Yeah.
Eberflus has added the fact the QB2 job is, in fact, open right now.
Wow.
Will DeWitt reporting.
You know what? Let me give Flus credit. And I keep saying, I find myself repeating this about this regime since they took over, both Poles and Flus. They don't baby these
They
guys.
play kids.
And
They don't mind.
they do common sense things. I keep saying it. Like, everybody, this has not been a secret. I think we were all patient and gave P.J. Walker a long enough leash.
Sure.
We're late enough in the camp. It's been bad. It's been downright bad. And now you got another kid who's come up and good. It should be an open competition. Why beat around the bush?
Common sense isn't always common, and you see it too many times in this league where teams are afraid of their own shadow. They're afraid of their own mistakes, and a good GM isn't afraid to own his mistake and take the solution that's staring him right in the face.
I think it's another braggism right there. Common sense is not always common.
Not my saying, but it's a good one that I live by.
That's
and
legit.
Don't listen to it half the time.
That's legit. And I think in this case, you have an easy. I don't even view it as a mistake. Like, this isn't like we already had this guy, but we still went out and gave some other guy $10 million. Y'all didn't have a guy, so y'all signed a backup. The guy who played with your star receiver that you just brought over here, cool, no problem. Nobody has an issue with that. It just so happens that you may have found a gem undrafted that's better than this guy. It's not like you made a mistake.
They took a spin.
You're gonna pay somebody behind your quarterback, behind your QB1. You're gonna pay somebody a couple $1 million. Cool. You're still gonna do that, but then you play the other guy, a couple $100,000. He just happens to be better than him.
Right. It's no money. I mean, we're not talking about something that's going to greatly impact their salary cap structure at all.
I feel like Chase Daniel was making like $10 million a year.
You're gonna pay your backup anyway. You're not paying Tyson Bagent. He just happens to be better than that guy. So good on you for not saying, okay, his wallet's fatter, so he gets to play. Hell no, sit down, sir.
So what if I told you that indeed they only keep 2 quarterbacks and Bagent ends up being the second one? How do you feel then about the depth behind Fields? Because that's how you got to think about it if you're going to go down that road.
Peterman's going to be on the practice squad easily, right? Or is somebody taking him from us?
Well, that's a good point. You could probably still get him there. And if not, is anyone really going to sign him at this point?
That's the thing. I mean,
He's probably a bearer done.
To Mark's point, though, you can't worry about that because if you go all the way down that road, the season's over. I mean, the season's over anyway with Bagent. I mean, it's a nice story, and this is an interesting topic for who's going to be quarterback too. But I don't think any of us are overstating that he will have a Brock Purdy season if he, God forbid, had to come in place of Justin Fields. I think we're just saying it's clear as day he's better than P.J. Walker.
Again, we have been begging for the Bears organization to do things the right way. And part of the things in doing the right way is to add quarterbacks into your QB room because quarterbacks get hurt all the time. And they have done that. And, oh, my God, the dude looks like he might be able to be a competent, top 23 quarterback in the league. I don't know. I don't want to go too crazy here.
Top 40.
Top 40, great.
You know what I mean?
Great.
Top 50.
Yeah, exactly. Top 50,
Yeah.
great. You know, on the higher side of backups, great.
Yeah.
So that's a good job by the organization. That's a win for Ryan Poles. Ryan Poles should, when his head hits the pillow at night, he should feel good about that.
35 minutes we have spent talking about quarterback 2 here.
Well, it's a big story tonight.
Pretty damn impressive. Like I wasn't expecting, coming into this post-game show that we'd spend this long talking about, but this is great. It's a great development.
It's a culmination of the entire summer. It's not like we're just overreacting to one
he's
game,
been doing it all
He's
camp.
been doing this all camp, and so has P.J. Walker. They both have been doing what they've been doing for the entirety of this camp. So
Right. We can all see it.
Yeah.
By the way, it's also a little frustrating because so many of us have been banging the table for years now to take a swing on a late round quarterback, just always have a young developmental option, which is also why, quite frankly, I'll be a little frustrated if they don't keep him and he does get claimed.
That's not happening.
and then he's good somewhere.
Oh, man.
I don't think that'll
That-
happen.
That's almost fireable.
That's something that actually would happen to the Bears. But I don't think it would. I think this regime's smarter than that.
I agree.
I'm trying to give them credit for it.
No, I agree.
But that is something that would definitely happen in the past. All right, quick break. By the way, can we get the tweets from Will up on the screen here? That he's been tweeting a couple things from Eberflus's press conference. I just want to show them and read them to everyone here in a second because it does have to do with that quarterback 2 battle. But in the meantime, Sunnyside, your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality products. Sunnyside is everything you need to elevate your summer, your one-stop shop for all your cannabis needs, no matter where you are on your cannabis journey. Easy online ordering and in-store pickup with a great transparent loyalty program called Sunnyside Rewards. They are Illinois' favorite dispensary with plenty of brands available like Mindy's, the best tasting gummy and chocolate edibles, which are created by James Beard, and Good News Gummies, rechargeable vape pens, High Supply, Wonder, the Wonder Wellness Company. They have all of these different brands always available to you. And through August, you can head to sunnyside.shop. Use code CHGO25 at checkout for 25% off your total order. One use per customer. It's not stackable with other promotions, but this is key. It's not only for new customers. Anyone can use this code. Use that code CHGO25 at checkout again for 25% off your total order. Pick up everything you need to elevate your summer. Must be 21 plus or an Illinois MedCard holder.
Hey, if you are looking for tickets to concerts, sporting events, whatever you need, comedy, you do need to do one thing with your life. That's download the Game Time Ticket app. You will get the best price in the secondary market. They guarantee it. If you find a better price than anybody else, they'll credit you 110% of the difference. This is the easiest way to get yourself in any game that you want to go to, any concert. Trust me, download the Game Time app, create an account. And by the way, if you use the code CHGO, you get $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account, redeem with the code CHGO, $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, the lowest price is guaranteed. If you find a better price somewhere else, 110% on the backside for you, which is amazing. And look, buying tickets to events shouldn't be stressful. They make it super easy on Game Time. I use it all the time. I love the Game Time app. Download it, live it. Use that code CHGO, $20 off your first purchase.
And CHGO Bears preseason coverage brought to you by the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program. Learn more at ComEd.com/powering biz.
If you want to get $20 off Tyson Bagent to see him next week against the Bears,
you need to get a Bagent jersey.
110% back is major if you find, like, you know what I mean? That's better than like price guarantee. That's major.
They're giving you love.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, should we look at that real quick?
What?
Just seeing if tickets for the Bears final preseason game are blowing up. $35 right now. Come on,
$35?
Bills at Bears Saturday at noon.
But
Bagent.
Fields might play.
Fields is playing.
You going?
I mean,
don't say that. We don't know that.
We don't know that, but we know.
Yeah.
We kind of know that. We don't know that, I guess.
Might be more than Bagent family in 17 next week.
Carman's going to have a Bagent jersey. All right. We're going to get to our best and worst here of the game. I guess we'll have to go non-Bagent items. But Will DeWitt, I mentioned, was tweeting from the Matt Eberflus press conference in Indianapolis. He is there. Nicholas Moreano's there, too. We're going to hear from both of them, I believe, before this show is over. And Flus said on quarterback Tyson Bagent certainly put his best foot forward, added, "I saw poise," praised Bagent's decision-making, accuracy, and smarts, too. And then Will followed up with a retweet and said Eberflus added that the QB2 job is, in fact, open right now. So there you go.
We saw the same thing, Flus.
Yeah.
We're all seeing it.
It's nice, man.
Yeah.
It's nice to watch the game or watch a camp and see something that's apparent to everybody else, and then the coaches say, "Yeah, we saw that too."
Saw it.
Yeah.
He's not running from it.
Doesn't happen often, but it's really refreshing. Shout out to Flus and Getsy and Janoko.
We give them credit on how they're developing them, too. That's fair.
Yeah. All right. Best and worst from the game. We'll go non Tyson Bagent, I guess, and PJ Walker since we've covered that plenty so far in this show. But for my best, I'm going to go with Roschon Johnson.
You ran hard.
Here's another guy that, again, I still don't really understand how this whole running back puzzle's going to fit, but could he be pushing for at least RB2? Because Deontay Foreman had one nice angry run tonight, but other than that, like, it's been a quiet camp for him. And I still like Khalil Herbert, so I don't necessarily, and I think the Bears do too. I don't necessarily think, his job as the lead back is in any danger, but Roschon Johnson, he looked legitimate tonight from what we saw.
7 carries, 32 yards, 4.6 a shot, if you want to do the math on that, and the physicalness was there. What's your worst?
My worst was Tyreek Stevenson, man. That's 2 weeks in a row with not only 2 missed opportunities at an interception. This one definitely should have been caught, and it allowed a touchdown at the same time. But also 2 personal foul penalties now in 2 weeks, too. One was iffy last week. This one was a clear shot out of bounds. And, I mentioned this on the show earlier in the week, but I'll give a shout-out to Jason Leisure because he brought this up with all the chirping and the yapping and some of the stuff that's been out there on the practice field. And he was concerned. He said that Tyreek Stevenson seems like the type of guy that is going to be the one that gets called for a flag, whether it's after the whistle or something. And 2 games into his career, preseason or not, that's kind of what we're seeing. So I like the kid a lot. I'm very high on him. I still think it's going to work out, but that trend needs to end. You have to catch the ball, especially today. That's got to be a catch.
Yep.
Absolutely.
It's crazy how it went through his hands without him even touching. Because somebody said on Twitter, he needs Stickum. Stickum would not have helped him there because he literally somehow did not touch the ball as it went through his hands.
He needed that glove that mascots wear when they catch the first pitch.
Well, and the penalties are worse than the missed pick. Because if you go back and watch the missed interception, the coverage was excellent. He read the play as the receiver's coming across from the left side of the field, coming on the back part of the goal line or the end zone. He's on basically 3 guys. He starts in the corner on one guy, moves into the slot, then fades back, reads the quarterback's eyes perfectly, and he just doesn't finish the play. So I can work with that. But the penalties, you got to be careful with that stuff. I like his aggressiveness. I like his confidence in himself. But if you extend drives, those are backbreakers in the regular season.
I think there's that fine line between, that confidence and then that arrogance, right? And I think that we can trace his history back at Georgia. He's like, no, I'm this. The coach is like, we said you're this. He's like, well, bleep you, I'm out. You know what I mean? Like, okay, cool. Then he gets here. He shows up. He ascends to the top of the depth chart as the Bears wanted him to. But then I thought they were probably sending him a little bit of a humble yourself message in, all the time that they gave Smith. Like, listen, go out there and humble this kid a little bit. Smith took advantage of his opportunities. Then he got hurt. And I think that Tyreek the pressure's not there anymore. I can go back to being who I am. And I think that he just match your skills with a little bit of humility, get on the jugs, and go out there and do your thing.
And I've been felt a little bit wrong about it, but I've been calling out like, look, you are talking a lot for somebody who's been here for 5 seconds. And now you're throwing dudes out of bounds. Like there's got to be some level of maturation that's got to
harness
happen.
it a little bit.
You got to rein that in, man.
Yeah.
When he got into it with Claypool, it was like Claypool, like, calm down. But as you kind of start to understand the psyche of Stevenson, I can kind of see why Claypool's like, hey, Rook,
right,
shut up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. Like that. Like I liked Claypool at the start of it, and then Chase just kept going and going and going and going and going. Could have left it in. All right, my
best and worst.
My best. The fountain was flowing, baby. Buckingham, Darius Fountain was just. I mean, he was bursting. He was bursting in the end zone. Dude led everybody with 5 catches, had the touchdown pass, and he could catch it a little cleaner.
He double caught it,
by the way, that's why it's not gonna make the team.
Well, but
can't double catch it.
Fountain was
That's what
flowing.
the scouts care about.
Fountain was flowing.
Buckingham
Buckingham was
what was your original nickname for Fountain? Wasn't it something else?
Deuce. Darius
For the
Deuce.
record, it wasn't a nickname. It was
Started calling him Deuce
start
Fountain
calling him Deuce
for
Fountain?
no reason whatsoever.
well, it was the wrong name.
It was
wasn't a
Deuce's.
nickname.
See ya. The dude.
Oh, okay,
my man
see
was.
ya.
My
Hey,
man's blowing it
okay,
by
I
everybody.
like that. See ya.
Whatever. The fountain was flowing. I loved him. Buckingham lit it up tonight. My worst is, last week we had 8 sacks. Today we had 1. So, whoever you want to pick out, Travis Gibson. I didn't see you.
There's some missed opportunities too.
Yeah.
Dexter missed a sack in the first half, where he could have had the guy down.
He did.
Yeah.
So
was
maybe
Anthony Jones missing one in the
There
second
was
half.
some pressure, but not enough sacks like last week.
yeah.
But your guy, Terrell Lewis.
Terrell Lewis,
Another
baby,
strip
making the
sack.
team. Lock it in. Terrell Lewis,
There you
best
go.
pass rusher the Bears have had since camp started. I know Ngakoue is better, but he hasn't played yet.
Is that your best?
No, my best and worst aren't players; they're plays.
Okay.
My best is we have a screen game, ladies and gentlemen.
I like that.
Last week, we ran 2 great screens. This week, we run a nice delayed screen to Roschon Johnson. Set up nicely. They ran a screen to Dante Pettis. The blocking wasn't there. The irony of the screen pass to Pettis, though, was it just kind of put on display the difference between last week and this week when it was DJ Moore in the starters versus Dante Pettis and some backups. The play didn't develop the same way.
Yeah.
Talent matters when you put him around Justin Fields, see what happens. My worst is punt returns. Adam was talking about it before the game. Let's freaking get our punt return game going. Yeah. And Dante Pettis' turn this week to step up with Velus Jones out, and he didn't look that good returning punts. And I know he's reliable, but it'd be nice to have a difference maker. And tonight, it didn't even seem reliable. It seemed shaky at best. So punt return is still something this team's got to figure out. But the screen game, I'm liking what I'm seeing. And the Bears have always sucked at screen games.
Always.
So
Although
it's
they
a
work
breath
it
of-
relentlessly and it never works out.
Yes, they run them relentlessly too, and they never work. So it's nice to see them running them to succession right now.
For me, best, I will go Terrell Lewis. Like, just continuing, again, what we've seen throughout camp. He's had a consistent camp, shown the ability to put pressure on the quarterbacks, has been to get that edge. He's got some counter moves off of it. Second week in a row, you get a strip sack. And he's been consistent. I'm with you, Braggs. He makes the team. I don't know what that means for Travis Gibson or Rasheem Green. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But good on Terrell Lewis. My worst, Nathan Peterman. How do you not get the ball out of your hands on the last play of the game? Like, what are you doing? Like, seriously, what are you doing? At least get the ball in the air, sir. Like, that's why you may be looking at your last snaps in the National Football League. Like, what are you doing?
Peterman had an okay night for Peterman, though.
That touchdown throw to your guy Buckingham.
Buckingham was
Deuce
nice.
Fountain.
Buckingham Deuce.
On the run.
I mean,
Flushed out to his right.
His name is
Yeah.
completely
No, his
gone
name is
now.
now Buckingham Deuce.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that might have been the best throw I've ever seen Nathan Peterman make.
No, that was sweet. He flushed out to his right, put it on the money, on the run. That was great. But the last play of the game, like, get the ball out of your hands. Throw it, to somebody, sir. That was terrible.
P.J. Walker was also going to be
Honorable
my
mention.
worst.
I know this isn't directly Bears related, but that lead official,
Oh, my God.
oh
so
my
good.
God.
Oh, he's in the notes. Ramon
So
George.
If best and worst,
Ramon George.
if best and worst is done,
No, we're not done. We're talking about the official right now.
He was bad, awful.
I loved him. I hope they promote him. That
Like,
was
offense, defense.
I forget.
personal
Brutal.
foul.
They said who the official was supposed to be tonight. I don't remember off the top of my head, but basically the head official got the night off or was on the sideline or
So
whatever.
it was a tryout for
So it was
Ramon.
a tryout for
Oh,
Ramon.
it didn't go well.
And I mean, I feel for him.
I
I
thought
do.
it-
I feel for him because,
It's a tough spot.
I thought it went great.
but it's part of the job.
I thought it was amazing.
Like, part of the job of being a lead official is you have to announce the penalties.
You have to know the offense from the defense.
If I was the lead official, that's what it would look like. I'd have no clue what was going on.
well, and speaking of
I'd have no clue on numbers. I'd get mixed up on direction.
speaking of not knowing the offense or the defense, did you see the thing everybody was sharing on Twitter with the telecast at the start of the game when they showed the starters on offense? It said the defense. It said defense, and it was all starters on offense. And then they spelled Velus Jones' name wrong, and Dante Foreman. They called him Deontay Foreman, and they called him like Dallas Jones. It was brutal.
That's messed up.
So they didn't know what was going on and who the offense
Well, his name
was
is
either.
Deontay.
No, it was
Hoge is my
spelled
favorite
It
wrong.
was
person.
spelled wrong.
Yeah.
Hoge is my favorite person. I just wanna say.
His name is Dante Foreman. But they put a D-E-O-N.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I did not see that.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah. Okay.
So the thing I was going to say was
Please.
upon mutual New England Patriots just tweeted upon mutual agreement of the teams, tonight's game between the New England Patriots and Green Bay Packers has been suspended. During the play, cornerback Isaiah Bolden, a rookie, remained down on the field, which he appeared to take a hit to the head after a completed pass, and he was carried off the field on the stretcher.
What's the kid's name?
Isaiah Bolden, cornerback rookie. And
Fresh
they
for Isaiah Bolden.
suspended
Yikes.
the game from that.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Hopefully it was just because it's a preseason game.
Cautionary,
And it was
and then-
late in the game, and they just said, okay, that's enough. I hope so.
I think after what we saw last year, it's
Yeah.
probably always going to be a little bit of thought to say, should we just scrap this thing when those types of things happen? But definitely thoughts and prayers for Isaiah Bolden. Hopefully he's all right.
There was a couple other things that I considered this for my worst. That fumble by Robert Burns late in the game.
Ooh, bad.
But not necessarily just because obviously it's a horrible fumble that you can't have happen in that point of the game, but really more so from the human factor. And we mentioned this a couple times watching the game. Like, I can't help but feel awful for these guys that are pretty much grinding their way through training camp, knowing that their chance to make the team
Minimal.
slim to none to begin with, and they got to be virtually perfect. And like, wasn't Simba Webster the one who had a catch, dropped a ball earlier in the game?
Yeah.
And you just know the weight of those mistakes has to be so much. And this guy, Robert Burns, is actually having a great game.
He's balling.
Phenomenal game.
He was doing awesome. And then he fumbles it away right at the end. And
Key
moment. I just feel bad. Honestly, I feel bad for these guys when that stuff happens because you know right now they're probably out busting over to the airport right now. He's getting on a short flight home, and that's probably all he's thinking about. He's not thinking about the 5 or 6 good runs he had.
Yeah.
He's thinking about the fumble.
And that's probably what his phone says, right? As opposed to having all these texts from family and friends like, hey, he was balling out there. It's like, oh, don't worry about it. Keep your head up. You'll get it next time. Like, it's like he was having a good game. And so it's unfortunate, man. Like you said, the numbers aren't in their favor to start with. And, they need to be close to perfect. And he was tonight until he wasn't.
That part of the whole professional athlete media whatever experience is out. It always like hits me in the face. Like, you're here today. That's your locker. We're having this conversation. We both know that this isn't going to last. One of us is going to get the boot out of here. Normally I expect it to be me, but the players just move along. Like at the end of last year, who was Riley Reef?
Yeah. He's
pulling his placard out, on the last day because it's over. This is the last time I'm going to be in this locker room. I will never have this experience again. Most likely in a Bear uniform. That's done. And what's next? And a guy like that has made his money and got to play a ton. So I don't feel bad for him. But it's just like
not so much for Burns, right?
Not here for a long time. Here for a good time.
I didn't even know they were looking at him at tailback either, though. I didn't even know that.
I know,
I thought he was like purely fullback and see what he can do behind Kari. And he's out there toting the rock, like looking real running back-ish.
I liked him.
It looked fun. But
physical.
Unfortunately, there's so many roster spots.
Yeah.
That's what we got to remember with a bunch of these guys. The other thing before we take another break is just I don't want to overreact, but this has more to do with just today. I'm not convinced Shane Steichen's going to be that great of a coach.
I'm not even convinced Shane Steichen is actually a coach.
Who is Shane Steichen?
I see him standing there before the game with the Eberflus. I'm like, this dude is a substitute teacher.
I for the life of me, do not understand why they wouldn't have played Anthony Richardson. And I understand that their argument's probably the same as Justin Fields, which is we got the joint practices. Here's the difference, though. Justin Fields been in the league for 2 years. He got tons of experience last year. The first year was a waste of time, obviously. But last year he got the experience. I can understand it. Justin Fields is year 3. This guy's thrown 398 career passes, I think, even in college.
2,000 less than Bagent.
Think about that. And I don't care what level it is, SEC, whatever.
2,000 less throws.
That we're talking about the Mitch Trubisky problem, where he just didn't have enough reps in college. The dude needs to play. This is the NFL. It's a step up. I don't care if he's going against third stringers in the NFL. It is a step up. He needs to just see the field, go through the process, and throw the ball. I was shocked that he didn't play.
Yeah.
That blew my mind.
He should have played the whole game more than he should have set out. Hey, we're going to play him the whole game. And by the way, we're just going to give you the best chance to hit the ground running when the season starts, or whatever.
Especially the way he struggled against the DBs
Hold
over
the ball,
the 2
hold the ball,
days.
hold the ball.
Give him an opportunity now that he saw the Bears 2 times in a row during joint practices to go out there and win a few reps against them.
There were a couple other things too, just besides that. Low key, I don't know how many people even noticed this. We might have seen the worst challenge in NFL history tonight.
Which challenge was that?
The Bears
Where he
caught
the
a pass
ball
like
on the
8
sidelines.
yards inbounds,
Yeah.
running out of bounds, and Shane Steichen challenged it.
Oh, yeah, that was terrible.
And then
That
we were
was
all
terrible.
confused. They went to break and we're like, oh, maybe he was bobbling it for, 8 yards before he went out of bounds. They come back from break. They show the replay. It's like, no, that was just
Pitch and catch.
And it was like,
The Colts.
why in the world did they chat? It made no sense to me.
That was awesome. Colts have lost their challenge.
Yeah. Also, before halftime, I get it's a preseason game. But if you have a timeout in your pocket and it's 4th down, you make the team punt the ball every damn time.
That bothered me.
Because you can't advance a muff punt. There's really no way the half's over. You at least get a return out of it. You see what can happen. If nothing else, the fact that it's a preseason game, if I'm Flus, I might have called timeout just to punt the ball to get one more punt rep in. Just to get the work in.
Yeah.
That was confusing to me too by Shane Steichen.
I did not like how the Bears handled the end of the half.
Teacher.
Yeah.
So
You can already see him rolling out the projector.
Nah, I got nothing but respect for all 1 of 32. It's a tough gig to get. Salutes all those guys, but I'm with you. He could walk in here right now. I'd be like, can we help you?
oh, and the 2-point conversions at the end too. What was going on there?
I think they just they didn't want to create a situation. I know they can't, like, there's not going to be any overtime anyway, but I think they were just trying to ensure that they would get a win and also work on their 2-point package.
Well, I get that last point, but it was all backups.
That's true.
It wasn't guys who were going to, so.
That's true.
Underthink it, overthink it.
I'm not.
Yeah.
really
No, I'm with you.
So, that last one, not necessarily the end of the world, but I don't know. I was puzzled by some things there by Mr. What do we call him? Mr. Steichen, since he's the teacher.
Steichen.
Mr. Steichen. Mr. Steichen?
Were you nice to substitute
Whatever his
teachers?
name is.
I was, because I was too good of a kid.
I was nice as substitute teacher.
He's
That
38
was
years
a
old.
menace.
Yeah, I bet Braggs was definitely not
That
nice
was
to
an
this.
No
absolute
doubt.
menace.
No doubt. Brad giving false instructions from the regular teacher. She said for you to give us pizza. What?
If I was at school that day.
Like, that would actually work.
Don't
Teacher,
tell
oh,
Barb
really?
that.
I'm going to order some right now.
Right.
She knows.
All right. Well, you know what was we were all probably enjoying a little bit during the game to get through. Bragg said it right before the game. This one was for the diehards.
Oh, yeah.
This game was for the diehards. And
1.4 thousand people watching this post-game show. We got some diehards.
those are
in
the
this
diehards,
city.
too. And by the way, we're going to hit your super chats here in a minute,
Shout
too.
out to the diehards.
But the only thing to pair with the diehards is Goose Island. And that's what we had going tonight. CHGO supported by Goose Island Beer Company. The Goose IPAs were going strong. 6-time medal winner at the Great American Beer Fest. Always in style. Citrus aroma. Bold hop finish. Also had some tropical beer hug in that fridge. Dry hopped Imperial IPA. 9.9% alcohol that's dangerously easy to drink. Goose Island has been Chicago's beer since 1988, and you can grab ultra-fresh, brewery-exclusive beers at Goose Island's original brew house on Clybourne Avenue in Lincoln Park, or from their tap room on Fulton Street in Westtown. Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer.
That's right. That's right. Goose Island. Shout out to the honk honk. Circle K. Well, that's what we call it. You know, that's what it
Goose
says.
Island, shout out to the Hong Kong. I love you, Braggs.
There you go, Carm.
I'm a real moron. Circle K stores nationwide.
I just brought one for
Got
himself.
like 4 in my area.
Want one? No.
I got 4. Yeah, seriously. You know, I got like 10 in Circle K's in my area, all right down the street from me. One right there in Cherville, Indiana. So if you're ever around, stop by Circle K. I'll be there, getting my tropical Skittles and chocolate milk. No, I'm kidding.
Braggs is lit.
Large chocolate milk?
Large chocolate milk Deans.
I'm actually very upset that one of the videos that I posted of him drinking chocolate milk didn't get more love when I asked him if he
Well, that's because Hoge had already double dipped on the chocolate milk content, and Hoge got buried for it because we all, true, real men, love chocolate milk. Anyway, my guys over at Circle K, stores near you, we are so excited to partner with our friends at Circle K. Check out your local Circle K for the best coffee, beer, and snack selection and premium gas. Look out for the freebies and giveaways down the road. Like I said, always make sure you go and get the chocolate milk that's readily available there. Go, and like I said, they're everywhere in the nation. If you just look it up, right down the street from your house. I got like 10 in Northwest Indiana. So thank you to Circle K for sponsoring CHGO. Visit the nearest Circle K to pick up all your favorite finds.
Wells, what's happening?
I don't have my mic or Scott tonight, but I'm laughing at the chocolate milk.
He just like the chocolate milk reference.
Hey,
Go get your chocolate milk at Circle K.
We on CHGO Blackhawks, we spent a solid 10 minutes breaking down chocolate milk because it's like all the rage right now.
That's because it's August in hockey land.
Okay,
We're not going to do that here in football.
And they all
land.
want it. They all really want from my Cubs walk-off freak out. Everybody wants the Shut Up Hoge shirts printed, and I'm definitely down for this.
I would wear a Shut Up Hoge shirt.
I would not wear it.
That's on the board. All right.
We should play that cut from your buddy.
You want me to play it?
That was funny.
Well, you can go through yours, and maybe we'll throw it out.
Let me just talk about FOCO real fast. Thank you to our friends at FOCO. Get fitted out in the best sports gear around. Hoodies, shoes, signs, bobbleheads, everything you need. They've got Aloha shirts, straw hats, polos, bags. They will get you geared up for baseball season, geared up for football season, geared up for anything. FOCO's got it for you. Check out FOCO.com or, of course, click the link in the description below for all non-presale items. Use the promo code CHGO for 10% off.
All right, keeping it rolling here on the CHGO Bears postgame. Trying something new tonight as well because we got Will and Nick out at Lucas Oil Stadium. They were covering the press conferences. I believe Will was in the press conferences with Flus and Bagent, and Nick was in the locker room. So we're going to toss it out to Nick and Will right now at Lucas Oil Stadium. Kevin Wells.
You got this, Kev.
Kevin K.
You got it. I believe in you.
Well, I can play the audio.
There it is.
This is why it's the preseason for all of us. But we do have Nick and Will out there, and I think we're also going to hear from Nick in a little bit as well.
Nick looking jacked out there.
Well, he had a. Did you see his little pregame video from outside the stadium?
No.
Just white tee, jacked. Shady Rays.
Yeah.
He's too
beautiful sunny day.
You're good.
Yeah.
He's too good looking. It's annoying.
All right.
It is annoying.
I think we got Nick and Will
Right?
now. It's
annoying.
I was like, thank God you aren't like
Nick-
6'3", 6'4". Like,
Nick-
that just wouldn't even be fair.
Nick and Will, Ken and Barbie. I mean, they're just adorable.
Okay.
We're in the booth at Soldier Field last week.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We're in the booth at Soldier Field last week, and I'm sitting next to Nick. My girlfriend knows this because Nick put me on y'all show because I had ate all that food. And so she's like, she calls me. I always call her before the game. And she's like, tell Nick I said hi. I'm like, what? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, the Duke in Super Chats. He sounds
Duke's
legitimately
wipes all over
nervous
it, too.
about his wife leaving him for Nick.
Yeah.
All right, here are Nick and Will.
Nope. Still
Nope.
Kevin. All right. That's fine.
So then my girlfriend knows.
Well, we're gonna have Nick here live in a little bit too, so we'll try to make that happen. Let's go to some super chats because I know they've been piling up. Let's catch up on some of the supers before we hear from Nick once he's back up at the press box and ready to go. Let's see, we got William Lopez here starting $9.99. Hey guys, huge fan of the show. With PJ Walker's underwhelming performance the last 2 weeks, do you guys think we may have a legitimate question mark for our QB2 spot? Yeah, that's what we spent most of the top of the show talking about. It sounds like based on what Will reported from the post game,
Lou said, yeah.
A little bit of a competition, and I can't imagine as Nathan Peterman pushing for that spot.
No, it's a 2-horse race, and I think Bagent's ahead by a nose right now. You know, just
Do you think he's had
apples to apples. Now you factor in the veteran conversation we had, and hopefully they don't factor in the money conversation we had. But just performance to performance, I think you got to be edging the kid.
Let's put our coach's hat on for a second. Practice Monday. Who's getting the second reps?
PJ.
See, I don't think I'd be afraid to give him the Bagent. Send a message, man, to both of them. Reward the kid for what he's done. You always want to reward the guys that are putting in the work
Truth.
and getting results.
Truth.
And I think it's a little bit more tricky with the guys who are struggling. Sometimes you need to send a message. I don't necessarily think P.J. Walker needs a message sent. I think he's been around enough, XFL, practice squads. He gets it. He knows he's been bad.
Yeah.
But I do think that you'd like to reward Bagent a little bit. And also a factor in all this, too, it always is the players know, too.
They know. They know.
And they're probably going home having some of these same conversations we're having here on this show. Like,
They want the integrity of the depth chart, too.
yes.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, let me be clear. I think he's a zillion miles ahead of PJ, but in the history of how the NFL does things, or normally you show respect to the vet. You're not instantly going to bump him.
but I think that this goes back to, like, the leash that even we've been giving them. We're deep in the camp now.
Yeah.
How many weeks has it been? 4?
A lot of weeks.
Many weeks. One more game.
What was it July 25th? Is that what it was?
Yeah, I think we're 4 because you had that first week, report week, the week going into family day.
Yeah.
Then you had the first preseason game second week. We're 4 weeks into this thing.
Yeah.
It's not like the guy's been bad for 5 days. And
Oh.
Listen, to me, it's obvious. I'm skeptical that they'll do it because historically, the vets are going to get the love.
I agree with you.
But maybe the Flus will. Hey, he said this is how the Flus has gone about his business. He said last year he was not afraid to play the young guys. Kyler Gordon was out there instantly. Jaquan Brisker was out there. Now, they didn't have any other options. This is a little bit different.
Yeah, but Braxton Jones started 17 games for him.
Right.
He's a 5th-round kid from South Dakota.
Exactly. Excellent point.
Yeah.
Excellent. Like this is how he's done it. So I don't.
South Dakota.
Where is he from? Wow.
Utah.
Same
There,
thing.
Might as well.
There, too.
In the middle of damn ass nowhere. Nobody thought that was gonna happen. Like, yeah, you're the guy. What? That's the guy? Well, okay.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I think we can. I think we're gonna try it.
One more
And
time.
if it
Will
doesn't
and
happen,
Nick.
you can blame me. But I think we've got it here. So we'll
Will and Nick.
Will and Nick.
Doesn't work.
They've been standing
Week
there the
2,
whole time.
Preseason Bears Colts. They end up not winning this game. I don't think that really matters. So what are your top takeaways from this game?
I mean, you have to start with Tyson Bagent here. He finished 9 of 10, 76 yards, orchestrated that 17-play, 92-yard scoring drive. Coach Eberflus, after the game in the press room, was very non-committal about who QB2 can be. All he said is, I'm going to keep all options open. I don't want to close my mind to any possibility. And then Tyson, after the fact, kept mentioning, I'm just here to execute, make every play run as smoothly as possible. That's what the coaches have told me to do. And I will say, he was asked to recall what happened on that rushing score that he had, and his recall of that play, what he saw from the defense, what he saw from his own team, the offensive line up front, was to a T. So I kind of felt like some photographic memory from him, but I was just very impressed by his poise up there at the podium, talking about that play, and really just my biggest takeaway is I think the Bears have an unexpected QB2 here.
Well, that's interesting that you say that, the poise on the podium, but you saw the poise on the field. You don't orchestrate a 17-play drive, 92 yards, and get a touchdown if you don't have that poise and command in the huddle. And I actually asked Therese Fountain about that, and he said he really grew up in that moment on that drive. So it was really good to see from Tyson Bagent, and honestly, it just looked a lot more fluid when he was out there, other than when PJ Walker was out there. But another player that really took advantage of the opportunity tonight, I thought, was Zach Pickens. He obviously was starting in place of Andrew Billings in tonight's game, who was out, but it was a guy that was in the backfield, making tackles for loss. There was a screen play. You see Zach Pickens running over there to make a tackle. So he's just really learning and using what he's being taught by Andrew Billings, Justin Jones on the sidelines, who were talking to him all throughout the game, but also he was saying they really wanted to work on his get off and just wanted to keep that pad level low, and I thought he did pretty well at that in tonight's game.
I thought too, like Pickens, that's back-to-back weeks where he has made a play in the backfield. And this is a Bears defensive line that last year, they weren't making those sorts of plays. This preseason, last week, you saw a little bit more than you did here tonight. They were kind of hard to come by, but Pickens was one of them. And then another player for back-to-back weeks, and we've been hearing about him since OTAs, is Terrell Lewis. He had a strip sack here for the Bears today, and as the Bears are looking for a pass rush, we did not see a lot of it on this field here today, but Terrell Lewis was one of those players that was a bright spot for that pass rush.
You know, one player that I thought maybe didn't make the most out of this opportunity, and maybe I'm going to be a little too harsh on him right now, Tyreek Stevenson. I thought there was one play near this right sideline where obviously he gets flagged for a personal foul penalty for the late hit, and then he has a football go right through his hands on the interception. But we were talking about this, Will. He's been in position to make these plays. He just hasn't finished them yet. So it'll be nice to see when Tyreek Stevenson, is able to finish these good plays after being, putting himself in a really good position initially.
And I got to talk to him at his locker too, and he just mentioned, I just got to get my hands together when I put my hands up. They were too far, spread apart, and Eberflus echoed the same exact sentiments in his post-game presser about Tyreek, saying he just has, when you put your hands up, they need to be together. So for Tyreek, A+ positioning, not so great on the execution, but as you can tell, if the kid's in a spot, I feel like once we get to this regular season, he's going to be a ball hawk.
Yeah, he's going to be a ball hawk. Speaking of another player that when he got on the field, you can just feel his presence, Roschon Johnson.
Always.
It's just, he brings a physicality. He knows how to run people over. There's just, I don't know if it's a sense of calmness when he's out there, but you just know he's going to get from point A to point B and read his lineman the right way, whether it's making a cut or just lowering the shoulder pad. It's been fun to watch Roschon.
Okay.
Back up. Yeah.
We got it.
Great job out there.
Great job.
Great work.
Not sure what happened at the
Yes. Yes.
Oh, Poppy loves it.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry. But that was a good job by Wolinek. I
Poppy.
really enjoyed that.
Poppy.
Good angle
You need
of the
to chill
stadium.
out. Okay. Hi, buddy.
I want a new stadium.
Don't
Damn,
yell
looks
at the
sweet.
dog.
Dog can't be barking. Dog, we're going back to
How
training.
about just don't bring your dog to work?
I actually
Blame the dog. Wait. You're going to blame the dog for doing what dogs do, which is bark?
Now, hold on a second. Everybody has enjoyed the presence of this animal
Yeah,
today.
I would actually prefer
When
Oh, I like the dog here. It's a good therapy dog for dealing with you two.
I agree.
Oh, now.
Yeah, here we go, turning it on us.
Listen.
See what I'm doing here? I'm making you guys a brotherhood,
Don't fall for
a
the
team.
bait, Carm, because he's trying to get a quiet please on us, and I'm not falling for it.
Yeah, we're just gonna sit here all
We're
night.
gonna do our super chats.
You know what? You know what? We're gonna call you, instead of
Hoge is such a
mansion.
smart man,
We're gonna
I
call
swear.
you the crab anshin. Crab Hoge.
Crab.
Crab mansion.
Crab-a-lanshin. Poppy, you can come back anytime.
I love Poppy.
I know.
Hoge hates puppies.
We won't talk about the
Poppy.
things you were saying to the dog before the show
Look, you're
started.
just going
that
right for
Herb and
her
I
now.
unfortunately had to hear.
I'm just fired up for a cuddle today.
That was unfortunate.
That was some weird stuff.
That was
I'm
unfortunate.
fired up for a cuddle.
We can get deep
I'm
into
going
that
big
some
spoon. All right, go ahead.
All right, let's get to
Wow.
these super chats. M.O.B. O'Brien. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to go Mob O'Brien or I don't know. Anyway, we love you. We see your super chats. $5. Get rid of PJ. Looks awful. Bagent looks amazing. Peterman looks pretty good too. Okay.
Cosign. Done.
Dennis Simpson, 199. QB1, Fields. QB2, Bagent. QB3, Peterman. Cut Walker.
Sounds a lot like Mary Love Kill. Is that what it is?
yeah,
Like, what is it? Like,
Yeah.
We thought about that being our headline for the,
not love.
for the pregame show. That's hilarious you said that.
Yeah, that is funny.
Yeah.
I'm not going Bagent, or I'm sorry, I'm not going
Peterman over
Peterman
Walker.
over Walker yet. I'm not quite that far on it. Duke, 1999. Love you, Duke. Thank God we aren't going to be. I'm sorry, Kevin, when you're moving around.
Undefeated this
Undefeated
preseason.
this preseason. 10+ win.
Season confirmed.
Yeah.
He's you win in the preseason. It's a bad look for the regular season. Duke.
Have you met John Harbaugh or no?
Well, that's a good point. Was it 25 wins in a row?
A billion wins in a row. Yeah.
But Duke's got the Duke philosophy, upper level philosophy. Duke
Duke with the 1999 super chat. I'm going to play Joker here. I want to watch the world burn. Let's start up a controversy. I want to see Bagent getting some reps with the ones and see if he can unseat JF1. By the way, I'm very sunny side. Know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. I smell what you're cooking. Glad you're enjoying your night, Duke.
Duke is high as a kite.
Must be.
We
Yeah, well, they got some nice things out there on Duke
This
Island.
is why we can't have nice things. Like
Maybe there's a Sunnyside location
potential
on Duke
solid
Island.
backup quarterback.
Right, because then we take it too far.
We take it too
I
far.
might hit some sunny
Meatball Island. We get
when I get
we
home.
lost in the sauce.
Gotta love it.
Day off tomorrow.
I like to stop by Meatball. I like to come hang out with y'all for a minute.
come
but
by.
I gotta leave
Then you got to leave.
Do we have Nick on standby yet, or
before
no?
they beat me up. Number
We do?
one.
All right, let's get to Nick because I don't want to make him. He's been in Indianapolis long enough. Let's get this guy home.
Nick.
Nicholas Moriano out at Lucas Oil Stadium, doing a great job with all the coverage tonight. Hopefully Josh Schrock doesn't jump out of something.
Nick putting in the 14-hour days.
Yeah.
Looks like he's about to read us an Alfred Hitchcock book or something. I don't know.
Do you
Just
want?
with
I mean, I
the
can.
lighting.
I'd rather
please-
not. And
please don't.
there's not going to be any Josh Chiroc's jumping behind here because this is a wall. So there's no way he can get behind here, you guys.
Nick, tell us what it was like to look into the eyes and hear Tyson Bagent.
Well, so that's funny that you asked me that, Carm, because Will was actually the one that went to the Tyson Bagent press conference.
Don't worry, Nick, we've only told him this 6 times, so
all.
it's
How did
okay.
I can't believe that our I can't believe that our GQ did not go to the new Bear GQ. But that's my bad.
Let me
That's
ask you
my
this,
bad.
though, Nick, because you are always very attentive to what's happening on the sideline and watching the players and demeanor and post-series activity over there. Hoge was just talking about how the players respond to, their quarterbacks, and they understand what the depth chart should look like and who's playing well and who isn't. What did you see from his teammates on the sideline in terms of how Bagent was playing and his interactions with his teammate, either his leadership or just their support for him?
Well, I thought it was just telling that even when Tyson went out, you guys, Justin Fields was standing right next to him. And who wasn't there? PJ Walker. And maybe it was just the moment that I was looking at it. But, Tyson was there. And then when you get that touchdown, like you talk to some of the people in the locker room, like Darius Fountain, I got a chance to talk to him. He's like, the guy grew up.
His name is Buckingham Deuce.
Okay, Buckingham Deuce. I do
Buckingham
like that
Deuce
a
Fountain.
lot.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
But go ahead.
like
Yes, you talked to the Deuce.
So I did talk to the Deuce. The fountain was flowing, and he was saying, I asked him about the touchdown drive and how Tyson orchestrated that 92-yard drive, and he said he grew up, he's a pro, true general on that drive, and really proud of him. So I think that resonates in this locker room because there was a sense of confidence when he was out there. And I don't know if you guys felt the same way, but watching him orchestrate that drive, you just felt a lot more confident in what he was doing than what you saw in the 2 previous drives that PJ Walker tried to lead the Bears down, and obviously couldn't. They led to 2 punts, but it just seems like that this team, and being an undrafted free agent, you're an undrafted rookie, I think that speaks volumes that he's out here making the most of his opportunities on a night game at Lucas Oil and goes out and, scores that touchdown drive.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the highlights of the night, no question. I know, even though Nick, you were in the locker room and Will was, with Flus and Bagent, that Will clued you in on everything that went down in there. So, I guess what were your big takeaways just from? I guess the headline has to be, right? Like Flus said, that the QB2 job's open.
Yeah, and that's how Will was relaying it to me. It's like obviously we hear Coach speak from Eberflus and everything, but it's necessarily open. And I think that's telling, especially because if PJ Walker keeps performing like he has been, you guys, which has not been great. We've all seen it, whether it's in training camp practices, joint practices, this game, and you're seeing that from Tyson. There has to be some kind of controversy going on. There should be. Because the quarterback, it's how you play should be the reason why I hear Poppy.
Yeah.
Bobby
but
wants
how
a
you play-
Bobby wants a QB change. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that was telling for me. Just seeing how he said, like looking at, like he said on Walker, we were going to look at the tape. The quarterback is always the center of focus, and then on Tyson, he said certainly put his best foot forward. So, you guys, I feel like even though it may just be coach speak from Eberflus, I think there is some trueness to what he's actually saying and what he's actually just seeing with his eyes on the football field. Like Tyson played better. Tyson has been playing better. And are they going to be, for making a move if it does come down to it?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who's getting the reps for second team here as we lead up to next week's game. I want to move to the defensive side of the ball, somebody we really haven't gotten a chance to talk about tonight because all the talk's been about this backup quarterback situation. But Zach Pickens did stand out to me in this game. They didn't tally the sacks like they did last week, but Zach Pickens 2 weeks in a row has made his presence felt. He had back-to-back plays in the first half that, really perked my ears up, and then he had another play in the second half where he ran a guy down. So, did you get a chance to talk to Zach, and what were your thoughts on his game?
Yeah, so I did get a chance to talk to Zach Pickens, and I asked him, what did you feel like you needed to work on? Because whatever you did from, preseason game number 1 to preseason game number 2, it looks like it's, playing out on the football field. But he said he wanted to work on his run stopping. Greg, you just talked about 2 plays where he's able to stop the run. And then his get off. There's a play where he's able to shoot the gap and kind of get a tackle for loss that he registered in this game because he got that quick get off, was able to power through the guard and make the tackle. He was also asked, like, the difference between just this game and the one last week. He just feels so much more comfortable, you guys, in what he's doing, what he's asked to do. So you're seeing that also play out into his game. And I also asked him because they started. It was Zach Pickens and Trevon Dexter starting in the place of Andrew Billings and Justin Jones. And what Zach was relaying to me was that, like, Andrew Billings was huge. I think he put it tremendous on the sideline and just telling him how to, one, work on his hand placement and just how to work on his get off, staying low and things like that. So even though Andrew Billings and Justin Jones didn't play in tonight's game, they really did help out the young rookies in the interior of this Bears defense to do what they did today. So it's really nice seeing Zach Pickens, make these plays and, stand out when, he's starting more of these snaps. And he was also asked you guys, like, what's your confidence that you can be a factor for this Bears defense? He said pretty high. He has huge expectations for himself.
Do you think he's ahead of Dexter after watching tonight?
I think he's made more flash plays, Mark, but I guess because they're playing 2 different positions with Zach playing more of the 1 and Trevon playing more of that 3 tech. I mean, look, if you're making the flash plays, you're making, an impact plays, maybe I would say so. Because again, they're playing out on the football field, and that's where it counts the most.
Yeah, and I think right now they're playing 2 different positions, and that seems to be what. Yeah, so I don't know that's
a little weird. I tried to get some clarity out of Zach when we talked to him in a press conference last week, and I only left that question more confused.
Yeah, you and I looked at each other like
did he just confuse us even more? Like I don't know what that means, and so
In what regard?
Well, I was asking specifically, like, do they have him focusing on the 1 or the 3 right now? And he was like, well, I mostly play the 1 unless I don't move from the 3, and then I play the 3. So I know both. I was like, what?
yeah. And then again, he doubled down and was like, "But I'm only playing one position," or they got me focused on one position right now. And so I was like, and it seems to be that was backed up in the game because I went back and looked at the film and how they were lining up, and he was primarily at the 1. And same thing tonight. I didn't see anything different. I'll check the film again afterwards, but I didn't notice anything different. So,
do you think the Found's making the team, Nick?
I had someone on Twitter like put me in like a long thread. I don't know why they did this, but there was an interesting question at the end. Like, would you take Darius Fountain over an Equanimous St. Brown right now? And it's interesting because I also asked Darius in the locker room what he wanted to work on. He said special teams. If he can prove to be a valuable special teamer and he's stacking up these plays as a wide receiver, he's definitely making a case for himself to at least make the coaches think twice if they're going to cut him or do whatever they, may want to do with him, because he's a big body receiver, can get behind you deep. And then if you can add special teams to your resume, man, that makes it hard or a lot more difficult for a coaching staff to just, get rid of you or, put you on a different team, whatever may happen. But it's, look, if you're not seeing Bayless out there, obviously Tyler Scott, he's going to make this team, but he didn't play tonight. It's a crowded room, but if DeReese keeps stacking plays, you guys, it's definitely going to get interesting.
Does anybody see them keeping more than 6?
That's an interesting question.
Well, and by the way, I don't know that there's. I'm sorry. I don't think there's room for Fountain. It's cool. This is like classic training camp story.
Yeah.
He'll be on the.
Always one wide receiver.
That's the answer to your question from a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like, who's going to be the training camp darling? It's a great story. It's awesome. He'll be on the practice squad, in my opinion. I don't think there's room right now. It's like starting to be almost concerning what's going on with Tyler Scott, who's been inconsistent catching the ball and now hurt. My question, actually, low-key, I'm glad Equanimous St. Brown's name came up here because we didn't get to that earlier.
Had a drop.
He had a drop and what I thought was a poor route earlier, too, where he got bailed out by a flag and was a horrible call, speaking of the refs. That was not defensive holding at all, and it would have been the end of the drive. So I didn't think this was a particularly strong game by him, and I'm just wondering – I would put him in the conversation possibly on if you're wondering like who could be a surprise cut.
He's entered the chat.
Well,
I mean, I was sorry, Nick. Go ahead. I was already wondering that before tonight, and I just think tonight sort of exasperated that conversation a little bit.
No, that's a really good point, Adam. And the only good note I have, and there's only so few notes I have on Equanimous St. Brown from tonight's game, but he was out there blocking on the edge. I honestly can't have to find exactly what running back, but he made a nice block on a jet sweep to Nasimba Webster. And that's the thing with Equanimous. Yes, he can block and be a good asset in that part of the offense, but you still need to be a receiver. Go downfield and make some catches, and clearly he didn't capitalize on that opportunity tonight. So if he just does that, is that enough for a team to say, okay, we need to have this blocking wide receiver on our team? We can't. I don't think so. So it's definitely going to be interesting with him if he doesn't do anything to separate himself from the bottom end of wide receivers right now.
Am I missing something here? Do you all not think the Fountain's better than EQ?
So I think the Fountain's issue,
Really?
I don't know. Is he better than EQ? Whatever. I think he's having a better summer than him. Okay, but I think to Nick's point about EQ being a good blocker, we know that, but that's not enough, right? You aren't even on the field with the ones most of the time for that to even factor into the equation. You don't offer a whole lot on special teams, and so the question then becomes, how many are we going to keep? And then does a guy like Dante Pettis' special teams value kind of put him in front of you? Because they seem like they're still going to keep Bayless. He was a third-round pick last year. I don't think they're ready to give up on that. So then you talk about Dante Pettis. The other guys, we know who they are, right? We talk about Mooney, Chase, DJ, and Tyler's going to make this team. Those four are going to make this team. So if you're talking about Bayless and then maybe Dante Pettis, does that leave EQ out? That's why I think the road for Buckingham is just a little bit too far, because I think he has to jump EQ and Dante.
Yeah, I think it's all good points. Nick, any other final thoughts before you get out of here?
Just real quickly, you guys, with the edge rusher position, I just thought, obviously you had Rasheem Green playing, you had Dominique Robinson playing, but Terrell Lewis is the one who made the biggest play out of that edge group tonight again. And that's another strip sack fumble that, building off of the last week's win against the Titans, he gets one here against the Colts. But Terrell Lewis, if you're rounding out the edge rushers right now, he needs to be in that room just because of the plays he continues to make on this Bears team. So I was really looking forward to seeing if it was between him and Travis Gibson, and tonight it was Terrell Lewis that came out on top again.
All right, Nick. Appreciate it. Awesome work not only tonight. I know it was a long day, but all week long with the practices.
Nick, I miss being your roommate this trip. It bummed me out somewhere. Having my own
we had
room.
bunk beds. We could have done it again if we wanted to run it back, Mark. So
we could have.
I'm tired of hearing about your sleep habits tonight. I really am.
Yep. This is yep.
Inside joke, Nick. Thanks for the insight, man.
Can't just say
Great
goodbye to
work.
Nick. Has to bring up something about sleeping. Nick, we love you.
We had a great
Adios,
week.
you guys.
See you at Hallis, buddy.
He did have a great week.
We had a great week.
Nick and Will both with some awesome coverage from.
The man was playing video games for hours on end.
Yeah, and we were playing golf or trying to play golf.
We were not playing golf. That was not golf. That was a shit show.
I'm tweeting.
Let's get through the super chats.
Yes, please.
As we do that, I'm tweeting your swing because it just needs to be tweeted. Go ahead.
Okay. My swing?
No, his.
Okay.
Don't worry about my swing. Let's
Mark,
worry about the super chats.
$4.99. Mark Gauthier. Tyson has a very nice long ball. Check his highlight from Shepard. My running buddy's son played safety with Bagent at Shepard. Talented kid. Thank you, Mark.
Mark Gauthier.
All right, the GOAT.
Sorry, Kevin. I'm an old man. Can you make those a little bit bigger?
Only 200
Or just
likes
the
with
whole-
over
the whole-
1,000 viewers.
Yes,
Show
thank
some
you.
love to these people, or to these guys, people. We appreciate it.
Well-
We're over 400 likes, but we can get it to 500 if everybody keeps pushing.
right.
I mean, come on.
We should.
This has got to be the slowest preseason game, as no fields.
Thumbs up for Bagent. Let's go.
We're spending 2 hours with you people, and you're spending it with us. Over 1,500 people watching this show at 11 o'clock at night. We
Arm
appreciate
TV
everyone.
$9.99. Tyson Bagent will elevate your entire team's play. His work ethic is second to none.
It sounds like you know him
A lot of
personally.
insider info on Tyson.
right?
Hey, we got the biggest insider because Will DeWitt was hanging out with his uncle before the
uncle.
game, telling us that he was going to be QB2.
Whenever you see someone rocking a jersey of a player that obscure, they're definitely family.
Yes.
So that's a good call by.
I hope Will got the
DeWitt.
number, make the contact.
Right.
We need to
Come
know
on, Uncle
next week
Bagent.
as soon as Bagent becomes
remember-
officially 2 on the depth chart.
Put Uncle Bagent on the show
I
on
remember
Monday.
seeing at
go.
Soldier Field once 6 people together wearing Mike Glennon jerseys. 1,000% their family.
Yeah.
Crazy Ace TV, $5. Just got home from the game. Disappointed we lost because I was there, but had a great time with the wife. Got to see Will, so that was a plus. Hashtag CHGO.
He was at training camp too at the joint practices. He's a
Yep.
great dude.
Yeah, nice meeting you out there, Crazy Ace, and appreciate all your support here on the show. As always, Ryan Ware, $199. Bagent to the back pylon jumping. Hashtag Wagent?
Yeah, like a W. That's what when people, you add a W to the name.
Nothing. Keep going.
You could do something if you'd like to.
No, I would love to. I love doing the super chats.
What was
Thank
that
you,
noise?
Ben, because I mean, the tweet that I just put out there is fantastic. All right, what's next?
Will you work? Not
I am
worry about
working.
Twitter.
I'm promoting.
I thought you were laughing because I jumped into the super chats.
No, I'm very.
We
right
need
now,
you.
Herb, I'm thankful that you did. Thank you for being on the show where
Thank
Carmen's
you.
not been for the last
You're
5
doing
minutes.
Carm's job.
Super chat from Keith Carman, my guy. Like it. Second week in a row, Zach Pickett's outplayed Dexter. Looks like Corey Wooten had it right on draft night. Good shout out. Good remembering Woot. I miss you, Woot. Woot's going to be a part of the show coming up once the season gets going here. We're looking forward to that.
We'll be playing golf with us Friday, too.
He'll also be playing golf with us
Tickets,
Friday.
we're actually going to talk about the golf outing in a second.
Jake
so.
Maloney, $4.99 super chat. Has Roshan Johnson shown any challenge to the RB1 job in your eyes?
Yes.
Lizzie says hello.
Who's Lizzie?
What up, Liz?
Okay. Sweet.
Wait, who, what?
I definitely think he's.
Oh, it's just.
I had said last week that I thought Roshan Johnson will be RB1 by December, and I think it's moving closer, like earlier and earlier every time I see this guy play.
That's a bold take.
You might be right about that, and I would have said
I've
absolutely
always been a
freaking
Khalil
not.
Herbert guy, but he's like the change of pace back, so then it's between him and Foreman, who I thought showed some power tonight. But Roshan Johnson, when you put this all together, power, pass protection, he looks like he has patience. I really like what I'm seeing from Roshan Johnson.
I've been waiting to see on Roshan the entire time. Not like I've been bagging on him or nothing like that. I just wasn't on the hype train because I didn't understand where it was coming from. But I've seen some things, and I think that as the weather gets colder here, you need a back that runs the way he runs the ball. And, the clip that we saw from him and doing the pass pro, he looks like he wants to. He's got good technique. Deontay Foreman certainly didn't look like he wanted to. We know about Khalil's struggles with it. So I think he's closer than he was certainly a few weeks ago. So
This was-
shout out to Roshan Johnson.
It was a big-time show out for him tonight. That was a big-time splash.
Bear Down Omaha, we love you, man. $2 super chat. CHGO rules. Great job this week. We appreciate it. It was a very fun week. Lots and lots of content. I hope you guys were able to keep up with all of it because I know I didn't. I got home and I was like trying to scroll through everything.
Dumbass is putting videos of me golfing up while we're doing our job
I know.
right now.
But I said this.
It's been noted.
This is not Tyson Bagent. I mean, it's just so brilliant by me.
You're an
Couldn't
idiot.
wait till the end of the show. Yes, there it is. Quiet Carm. No, take Braggs' off. Braggs doesn't even deserve it right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's just Quiet Carm. Carm 2, Bragg 0 tonight on the quiet police signs.
Really?
And Herb, as long as I'm driving this thing, will never get a quiet police sign ever.
Okay.
I just roll with you, Hogue. I just roll with you, man.
We're going to be rolling with a lot of people Friday. Cannot wait. Golf outing. This is your last chance to sign up and join us. The CHGO Kickoff Classic. Friday, August 25th, 9 a.m. shotgun start. Cog Hill, number 2. Really excited. I've never played there and looking forward to it. And you can see on your screen there if you're watching on YouTube, partnering with Pins and Aces. You'll get a Pins and Aces towel, and then you'll also have an opportunity to get that sweet CHGO Pins and Aces polo as well if you're coming out. We still have a few spots left. I think it has to be done by Monday, so we got to get it done this weekend if you want to come join us. Really looking forward to it. A lot of good feedback. Corey Wooten's going to be there. And, of course, Pins and Aces is the official golf apparel partner of ALLCITY and CHGO. We love our Pins and Aces gear. Get tons of compliments on and off the course when we wear it. They are a family-owned golf and apparel business. They make amazing polos, hats, golf bags, and our favorite beer sleeve, an innovative product that allows you to store 7 beers right inside your golf bag. It slides right in just like a golf club would in the top of your bag. Keeps drinks cold the entire round. Check out pinsandaces.com. Use code CHGO to receive 15% off your first order and get free shipping. That's pinsandaces.com. That's going to wrap up an amazing week of coverage here on CHGO with these joint practices against the Colts and then, of course, the game tonight. Bears are no longer undefeated under Matt Eberflus in the preseason. It's a sad night, but it's not because Tyson Bagent emerged.
We did not give the Flus enough love for his look tonight.
I love the T-shirt.
That was a power Flus.
I hope he keeps it going in the regular season.
I agree. It's warm days in September. Green Bay opening day. Flus.
I want to see it in week 18 in Green Bay too. Just
Ooh,
straight up T-shirt.
No, and that's the thing. That's a trend I want to end to. These tough football guys.
Oh, I'm with you on this.
I respect it. I salute, but stop it. Okay,
Put
what
some
are you,
sleeves on.
What are you trying to prove? Pregame, no shirt, like not even no sleeves. Like that's crazy too. But like how they come out there pregame, no shirt at all, no pads, just running around. Oh, like bruh, it's 20 below. You're not doing any. You're not intimidating anybody. Like you're cold. Go put on a shirt, bro.
It's just cold.
It was one of Hogue's great moments when he was the sideline guy for Northwestern when he videoed all the cats who were not wearing shirts, which feels a little different to talk about that now.
It's funny you bring that up because that video recently went re-viral when all the Northwestern stuff went down because there were some people out there trying to make it like, see, these people are. Yeah, it was
They're naked.
Minnesota game.
You're always ahead of the news cycle, man. You always.
That was not. Those were just some offensive linemen and
They were having a
Mick
great time.
McCall with their shirts off, 20 degrees in Minneapolis before a Minnesota Northwestern game.
What are we trying to prove?
And I was filming it, and trust me, the man behind this phone that was filming it had 17 layers on
Smart man.
because it was cold. All right, guys, appreciate it. Herb, thanks for sticking around. It was fun watching the second half with you,
Always
too.
fun
tonight.
hanging out with y'all. Appreciate y'all having me.
Braggs, awesome job tonight. Carm.
One more hour?
Nah. You want to finish the show singing Secret Bajan, man?
No.
Yeah,
I
you
don't.
do.
I'm gonna
Come on.
I'm going to go get my dog, and we're going to have a
Slade.
talk afterwards about her poor behavior.
Everybody here wants to hear it again.
Thanks to Kevin Wells for producing.
Thanks, Kevin.
Casey Standahar rocking
Thanks,
our
Casey.
social media tonight. Loved having her here with us in studio for game night. And who else? Am I forgetting anyone else? Nick, Will, awesome job out in Indy. Amazing crew. Tons of support throughout the week, too, with Lawrence Benedetto, our producer. And Bulls guys got an interview with Mark Eversley coming out Monday, I saw. So plenty of great content still coming your way over the next
Killing
couple
it.
days. We're off tomorrow. We'll be back Monday right here, CHGO Bears. Back to our noon time slot on Monday. We'll talk to you then.